Hello lovely people, I'm Catherine. She always lays straight on my hair, sorry about that. Hello lovely people, I'm Catherine and I'm here to tell you my plans for 2026 in terms of the YouTube channel. Before I get into that, I just wanted to say that throughout 2026 I'll be running 2 in-person sessions per month, 2 separate groups in Slowstitch at the David Hall in South Petherton in Somerset. Now there's already quite a lot of people booked on them. I think there's 3 places still on one and 4 places on the other, and they're either on the 2nd Wednesday of the month or the 4th Tuesday of the month. So if you're interested in joining us, it's monthly, and you pick either the Wednesday or the Tuesday, and it's from 10 until 1 in the morning. Obviously not at night, and yeah, it'd be lovely if you could join us. So if you're interested, you can, if you just pop in the comments that you're interested, and or private message me on Instagram or Facebook Messenger, or I'll put my email address in response to your comment. I don't say my email address in the video or put my email address, you know, generally, but I just put it in the comment if you ask for it. So yeah, so that would be lovely if you would like to join us. And now on to the plans for next year. So before we do that, well, one thing will carry on for a little while, as I've mentioned here and there, and that will be the coverlet of comfort. So this is my December block that I'm still working on. I will have done more stitching on it by the time you see this video, but I'm stitching in advance. Filming in advance is what I meant to say. And I've got my November piece that I've been stitching on here and there as well. The Burrow inspired piece, which was honouring Slowstitch, the kind of the heart of Slowstitch. So I'm going to do a bit more stitching on that. So the coverlet of comfort will carry on for the first few weeks of the year, and it will stay in its Wednesday slot. I thought that was the least confusing way of doing it. So this year I'll finish the stitching on the December piece with you. Or I will have done by the time you see this. I'm not entirely sure of the days, but anyway. And then the first Wednesday in January I will talk about finishing off elements, and then I'll keep making videos on Wednesdays about the coverlet until I think we're done. So I'll talk about, and it might be useful even to those of you who haven't made the coverlet, you know, to for other work that you've done. So I'll talk about ways of backing pieces. There's all different ways you can do it, ways of finishing off edges, ways of thinking about borders, also kind of more designy type ideas, because we've worked very organically through the year, making each block separately and joining it on. So I'll talk as well about looking at the piece of work overall, and if there's things that you feel don't quite fit with the rest, you know, how you can make things flow into each other, you know, all that kind of thing. So those videos, I have no idea how many videos there'll be. It kind of depends on me, and it depends on you as well, in a sense. But when I think I've told you everything I can, everything I need to tell you, I will do one final video answering any questions you may have, if you have any questions. So so those will carry on Wednesdays until the coverlet is all done and dusted. So that's the Wednesday slot. The Friday slot, rather than being a Park Home Life one week and a stitch the next week, I've kind of done it more or less, you know, on that cycle throughout this year. There will always be a Friday video, but I think I'm going to be a little bit more flexible about it, so keep you guessing maybe. So it will either be a Park Home Life, a walk, or if I go somewhere that I think you'd find interesting and I film it for you, you know, or I just feel like sitting and wittering on the sofa with you or whatever, it'll either be that kind of video, or if I've got some specific project that I'm doing or something that I think you'll be interested in, or there's something that one of you asks me that you'd like to see, then I'll put that in the Friday slot. So, you know, we might have 3 weeks of Park Home Life and then a stitching project, or we might have, do you know what I mean? So I won't do it that structured anymore. I'm going to be a bit looser and freer with it. So there'll always be a Friday video, and it will either be a Park Home Life type thing, a vloggy type thing, or it'll be a stitching or a knitting or a crochet or a mixed media or whatever. So that Friday slot is, you know, a smorgasbord of whatevers. So the Monday slot, which, and before I talk about it, I just want to show you this in case you haven't been following along with the Mondays. This is my journal of self-care that I've made throughout 2026. And every Monday we've done a spread, and we've done some mixed media, we've done some stitching, we've done all painting, you know, watercolour painting, creative writing, all kinds of things. And I'm so happy that I've completed this. And I have to say that I'm pretty sure that if I was just sitting here on my own doing this, I don't think I'd have stuck at it like I have. So I have to thank you all for that, for being here with me on the journey, and we've all carried each other along. And I've filmed flip-throughs of this. I think one's up already, and the second one will be up on Monday, if I've got the days straight in my head. So the last 2 Mondays of the year are flip-throughs, the first 6 months and the second 6 months. So maybe even if you haven't been following along with the journaling videos, maybe you'd like to watch the flip-throughs. I talk as well about, you know, my emotions through the year and so on, and how I've gone on my journey of living on my own the first sort of full year. So that's the journal for all seasons, finished. It's got its tie around it, and there's 2 flip-throughs, one already up and one to come, I think. I hope that's right. Anyway, they'll be there. There's a Journal for All Seasons playlist, and you'll find them there. They'll be the latest 2 videos. So that's the end of the Journal for All Seasons. And I did wonder, and I did think, I'll put it on the floor, and I'll put it over there. I did wonder about doing another weekly journaling project, but I've decided against it. I'm very happy I've done it. I do enjoy mixed media, but it's not something I really want to carry on doing on a weekly basis. And yeah, there's other things that I want to do this year, so that's that as far as that's concerned. But if I feel inclined to do mixed media of any kind or anything like that, then I've got that Friday video where I can put it. We've also got the Kate the Brave journal. I meant to get it out, excuse me a minute. Yes, I've also got the Kate the Brave journal that was a mini series towards the beginning of the year that I always said I wasn't sure how it would go, because this is an art journal. It's in a wrap if you weren't watching it. It was called Slow Journaling. So it was kind of the essence of slow stitching but applied to journaling. So I made the actual journal with you. And there's a playlist if you're interested. I'm just trying to undo the thing. So we eco-printed some cloth and some papers. And some of the cloth I made the wrap. There's the wrap. And then there's a photograph inside of Kate the Brave, and it became known as Kate the Brave because some of you started calling me that, so thank you for that. And then the journal itself is an old book cover. It's an old book cover that I made, you know, I made new signatures for, and I've done quite a lot of work in it. But it's by no means full or finished, and it's not really the same kind of journal as the Journal for All Seasons. This is more of an art journal, is what I call it. Now I know an art journal can be a blank journal that you put your art in, you know, your sketching or your painting or mixed media or whatever, but this is more, well, how I think of these is they are their own thing. So it's like a piece of art, like you might make a stitched piece of art. This is a journal that's a piece of art, so it's only about self-expression, and you know, it's not for anything. It's that question that many of us don't like. What is it for? It's not for anything. It's for the process and for its own beauty in the end. So if I feel inclined during 2026 to work into that again, that's the title page, if you can see it. Then that will be in the Friday slot, but it will just come and go if it comes at all, you know. So I'm going to be very free and flexible with that Friday slot. The opening page says "You do not have to be good," which is the first line of my favourite poem, which is Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. Yeah, so that's Kate the Brave. So that may turn up in the Fridays, but don't hold me to it. But the main event, the main weekly Slow Stitch project, yes, there will be one throughout 2026, drumroll please, will be more in keeping with what we did the first year as a project, but with a little spin on it. So this is my journal from the first year of Slow Stitch that we did together, which I started in France. Look how fat it is. and I know many of you did this with me as well. And we took a theme each week, and I came up with some words to go with the theme, and kind of used it as a way to explore all different kinds of techniques. So we looked at everything from borrow to kawandi to English paper piecing to kind of more conventional embroidery, kantha, pajagi. We did all kinds of things with this, and I know many of you enjoyed it, and I think it was a very good introduction to slow stitch if you hadn't been a slow stitcher before. So the coming 2026 will be either a journal or a scroll, like a stitch meditation scroll. I haven't got one here to show you, but I'm sure you know what they look like. So basically you stitch your pieces onto a long strip of cloth, and then it winds around something. So you can just find a stick, find a nice stick in the woods, or you can find some thrifted item like a vintage wooden rolling pin or something like that, or if you're lucky enough to find actual vintage spools off looms, or you know, that kind of thing. I did think about making another journal making video for you, but I haven't had the time, I'm afraid. But I will link below. There's a few different ways I make journals, and there's a few different videos. But making this journal was a 2-part video before we did this project, so I'll link you back to that one. And then we've also got from last year the Wonky Wednesday journal, and there's another video about how to make that. And this is a little bit different because it's got paper and cloth pages in it. So if you look at that video, if you only wanted to do cloth pages or you only wanted to do paper pages, you could, or you could do a combination of the two. Now, the weekly project is going to be called the A to Z of Slowstitch. So I'm fidgeting in my seat because I'm excited. Yeah. I wanted to do another weekly slow stitch project, making little individual pieces just for themselves rather than another big project like the coverlet. So I thought, well, let's do the A to Z of slow stitch. Now obviously the alphabet only has 26 letters, and that's only half the year. So I had an idea. I've been here for the last 2 years making videos, and you've been watching me, and I thought it would be nice if for the coming year we did it together, like a collaboration. So my idea is week 1, and these videos will be on Monday, did I say that? So on the first Monday of 2026 I will give you a prompt that begins with A. I'm sure you're all shouting a word that I say differently to a lot of you. It might be that, it might not, I couldn't possibly say. And we will stitch a little piece together based on that prompt. Now the prompt might be A is the initial letter of the technique, or the A might be the theme, or you know, it can be anything like that. But we'll do an A is for, and then whatever, okay? And then, so you can watch that video, you can make that piece with me, and you can put it either in your journal or on a scroll, or anything else you want to, you know, you could make a wall hanging or whatever, but those are just my suggestions. And then I'll ask you in that video for you all to come up with another A. A is for. Okay, so then you'll put your suggestion down in the comments under that video, and then the following Monday we'll make your A. So the first Monday we'll make my A, and then the following Monday we'll make your A, whichever one I pick. So I'll pick just because I like it, or because many of you suggest the same thing, or you know, whatever. There won't be any kind of criteria, and I hope nobody gets upset if theirs doesn't get picked. It's just that, you know, we can't do everybody's. So then I think what I will do is I might make a journal for one of the, you know, like for example, I'll make a journal for my prompts and a scroll for your prompts, or vice versa. So I'll have 2 individual pieces of work. Each with 26 A to Z's alphabets of slow stitch. You of course can put all 52 in the same thing if you like, that's entirely up to you. So I thought that would be lovely that you could then have some input. So I'm excited about it, but I'm also a little bit nervous to see what you think of the idea. Obviously you don't all have to suggest things, you can all just follow along. I'm hoping, and if by some chance one week nobody suggests anything, then obviously I'll have to come up with a second thing. But I'm really hoping that you'll play along. Fingers crossed. But yeah, otherwise I'll come up with 2 things. Some of the letters might be a bit more challenging. We might have to be a bit more inventive. I've got first pick. But yeah, I kind of had to give myself first pick so that you could then make your suggestions. So yeah, feel a bit bad about that, but not really. Some of the letters, there'll be lots of things to choose from. Other things, you know, like I said, we might have to be a bit more inventive. But so I hope that sounds like a plan. So it'll be a weekly slow stitch project, and we'll be doing like the 2 alphabets, so A, B, B, all the way through to Z, Z. We don't have to worry about that yet. I'm sure we can come up with 2 Zs if we put our thinking caps on. So that's it. So just to recap, talking of caps, Monday will be the A to Z of Slow Stitch. There'll be a video every Monday. Wednesday will be finishing up with the coverlet of comfort up until the point when it's finished, and after that I'm not sure. And Fridays will be either a vloggy park home life type video, or it might be going back to the slow journaling, or it might be mixed media, or it might be a knitting project, or a standalone slow stitch project. It might be painting, it could be crochet, you know, it could be anything. So that's going to be the Friday slot. So there we go. So I hope that all sounds good to you. I'm very curious. Please do let me know what you think. You know, good or bad, you're allowed to not like it. There's no judgment here. But hopefully enough of you do like it that we can carry on with the A to Z of Slow Stitch, and maybe you've got a little heads up, you can start thinking about A's. But yeah, like I said, I've got first pick, so just bear that in mind. Okay. So I hope you all had a lovely holiday season. So happy New Year to you all. I'm so looking forward to our project, and I hope many of you will join me, and maybe some new people along the way as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all your support throughout 2025. And here's to a happy and joyful and peaceful and stitchy, enjoyable 2026 to all of us. Lots and lots of love and kisses. Bye bye. See you next year. Bye bye. Say bye bye, Stella. Stella says bye bye.